The sound of cutlery tapping against plates was soft, almost polite, but her words were not. "Some people should know their place," she said, with a calm smile, looking straight at me in that moment. My heart felt like it had dropped into a deep, silent well. I kept thinking, how did my own family become a room where I felt so small? I was never a rich woman, but I was a steady one. I raised my son with simple values: respect, patience, and gratitude. We live in a small house with clean floors, warm food, and quiet prayers before sleep. I worked long hours stitching clothes for neighbors and relatives. Sometimes my fingers ached, but my heart stayed full because my child was safe. When my son grew up and got a job at a growing company, I felt proud in a quiet way. I didn't boast, I just thanked God silently. Then he married my daughter-in-law, came from a modern, polished world, soft voice in public, sharp eyes. In private she was beautiful, educated, and confident at first. I thought she would be like a daughter to me, but slowly I noticed small shifts. She spoke less to me. She corrected the way I held cups. She laughed gently when I mispronounced English words. It wasn't loud, but it was there, a thin line of disrespect slowly being drawn. Money was never my focus, but class differences were quietly felt. She liked expensive restaurants. I liked home-cooked dal and soft roti. She wore designer clothes. I wore neatly ironed cotton saris. I stayed silent. I believed silence kept peace. That was my first mistake. The company dinner was supposed to be a proud moment. My son had invited me because it was a celebration of success. His company had grown, and there was a formal dinner with colleagues and families. I wore my best sari, pale blue, simple, clean. I combed my hair slowly. I held my handbag tightly like a shield. At the table, laughter floated around like music. Then someone asked, "And who is she?" pointing gently toward me. Before my son could answer, my daughter-in-law smiled and said, "She's just his mother. She doesn't really understand how these things work." Her words were soft, her meaning was sharp. The table went quiet for half a second, but no one said anything, and in that silence, something inside me cracked. After that night, things changed quietly but painfully at home. My chair at the dining table slowly moved to the corner. My presence felt like extra furniture. She began controlling small things. "Mom, it's better if you don't talk to the guests too much. Mom, these conversations are too professional for you." My son stayed quiet. He worked long hours. He avoided conflict, and I started eating dinner earlier alone. Loneliness has a sound. It sounds like a spoon touching an empty bowl. It smells like cold tea left untouched. It feels like folded clothes. No one notices. I started doubting myself. Am I old-fashioned? Am I too simple? Receipts began to pile up on my small table. I started sewing more again, just to feel useful. One evening I accidentally heard a conversation. She was on the phone, laughing softly. "She's harmless. She doesn't even know how much influence she really has. She thinks she's just a nobody." My hands froze. Nobody. That word stayed in my chest like a stone. A week later, something unexpected happened. An old man visited our house. He was quiet, respectful, and carried a worn leather folder. He had worked with my late husband many years ago. He said gently, "Ma'am, you should know the company your son works for. It started with your husband's land and your savings. Your name is still attached to the original documents." I felt my breath slow down. Not fast, not proud, just aware it wasn't about money. It wasn't about power, it was about truth. For the first time in many months, I slept peacefully that night. I didn't shout. I didn't confront. I didn't cry. I visited a kind, honest family friend who understood paperwork. We sat quietly at a wooden table. He showed me faded documents, stamped papers, and old investment files. My hands trembled, but my voice stayed calm. "I don't want to take anything," I said softly. "I just want to stand where I truly belong." We arranged everything slowly. No drama, no stress, just clarity. I still made tea every morning. I still folded my own clothes. But something inside me had shifted. Not anger, but dignity. Another company dinner happened a few months later. Same hall, same soft lights, different heart this time. A senior partner of the company walked to the microphone. He began thanking the people who helped build the foundation of the business. Then he paused, and we must also acknowledge the silent strength behind this company's roots. He looked toward me. This company exists today because of the woman who believed in it. Before it had a name, the room went still. Forks stopped midair. I saw my daughter-in-law's smile fade slowly. Not in shame, not in fear, just in realization. My son looked at me differently that night, not as someone to be protected, but as someone to be respected. I said nothing. I didn't need to. Life didn't become magical after that. We still had quiet dinners. We still had awkward mornings, but I set gentle boundaries. I spoke softly but clearly. Respect didn't arrive with noise. It arrived like morning light, slow, warm, honest. I understood something important from this emotional story of my life. Power doesn't live in shouting. Strength doesn't live in revenge. And in every real life story, dignity lives in truth. I forgave her, not because she deserved it, but because my heart deserved peace. If this family drama touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. More calm, emotional stories like this are waiting for you.